Hello, my dear students, students of our preparatory stage, mainly second preparatory for English subject. Today we are going to introduce a new unit, Unit 2 in our curriculum. أهلا وسهلا بكم طلابنا الأعزاء للصف الثاني الإعدادي اللغة الإنجليزية. النهاردة هنقدم وحدة جديدة أو يونت جديد هنقدم فيه سكيلز جديدة وارياز جديدة زي الجرامر، زي الريدنج، السبيكينج، الليسننج، وهنقدمها وهنحاول على قدر المستطاع ان احنا نقدمها بطريقة بسيطة جدا. تمام؟ يلا نبتدي حلقتنا النهاردة. Let's go. Okay, before we start our session, let's clarify our objectives. أو يلا بينا نقدم سريعا كده ايه اللي هنتكلم عليه في اليونت النهاردة. طبعا احنا في الأول خالص بنقدم الأوبجكتيفز أو بنقدم أهدافنا لكل اليونت. Okay. Then we divide them into two parts أو بنقسمهم على جزئين. Let's focus now on the objectives. Okay. By the end of this session, guys, you will be able to understand and know the following. For reading, we will learn how to read a text about night workers, description of weekend activities, and an article about happiness for teenagers, and also an informal email. Also, for writing, we will learn how to write a text and how to describe a place or a photo, and also we will read some samples of an email to a friend. Then, for listening, you will learn also that how people talk about learning new skills and description of photos. We have a new objective of speaking, how to describe weekend activities, how to describe photos, how to respond to news, whether they are good news or bad news. And for the last objective, and this is very important, it's about values. You know, guys, values mean قيم. Okay, we have in every unit we have one value we have to introduce and we have to focus on well. Okay, our value of this unit is about patience أو الصبر. We will learn how to be patient in some situations. We will talk about this through our reading passages. Okay, so now as a warm-up or as a start before we go into details in our unit, now we have to look at these photos. I want you first to be ready with your books and your pencils to take notes after me. And now I want you to open the first page in this unit, Unit 2, and focus well on the pictures. I want you to focus on pictures from 1 till 6 and try to match these words in the box in front of you now. Now, I ask you to pause the video and to try to match every word to its suitable picture, and then we can correct it together. So pause and think. Okay, now I guess you got it all correctly. Let's now check our answers. Of course, picture number 6 was for call center worker, and it means عامل اللي بيستقبل الاتصالات, call center. And for police officers, of course, we know police officers or ضباط الشرطة. It's for picture number 5. Also, we have a new word, computer engineer أو مهندس الكمبيوتر. It's for picture 4. Then we have a shop worker. It's for picture 3 أو العامل اللي بيعمل في محل. We have a nurse, and I know that all of you know what's meant by a nurse, الممرضة, and she works of course in a hospital. And for the last one, for the last picture, it's about street food seller أو بائع الأغذية أو الأطعمة في الشارع أو في المحل. اوكي، دلوقتي احنا هنكمل شرحنا على البورد. يلا نبتدي. So, before we start, I want you to be ready with your books, with your pencils, with your highlighters to highlight after me the important details. Okay? So, let's start. Now, we will have like short passages or short extracts, and everyone is talking about a certain character. Okay? So, I want you to highlight after me the important details because we will use them later on in our answers of the following questions. So let's start. Now, The title here is 3 a.m. in Cairo. I'm looking after patients at a hospital. It's very busy. I am looking after children in the children's ward. And I mean by ward, like a place in which you can see the patients أو الغرفة أو الحجرة اللي فيها المرضى. I like my job, but I am feeling tired tonight. I am looking forward to going home and having a rest. As you remember, in Unit 1, in the previous unit, we focused on the expression I am looking forward to. This expression should be followed by gerund, ing verb, or a noun, okay? So that's why after 2 you see here ing word, not an infinitive verb, because of this phrase. So here, who is talking? A character which named or who is Amal, okay? So, of course, as we are talking about jobs now, so let's guess now the job. It's for a nurse. This is a job or a description, a wasf for the job of a nurse. Now, let's go for the second slide and let's guess أو خلينا نخمن the job of the next characters. Here, we are driving around the city and making sure that people are safe in the streets. We aren't very busy tonight. It's cold, so everyone is staying at home. Adil is feeling a bit bored يعني إلى حد ما زهقان. And I am feeling hungry. I am looking forward, again, to plus gerund or noun. I am looking forward to having breakfast. So here, who are talking? We have 2 new characters, Ahmed and Adil. So can you guess what is the job of the people who make people safe all the time? Can you guess? Yes, perfectly. I guess you got it correctly. It's for the police officers or the policemen أو ضباط الشرطة. Now, let's go for the third extract. And let's guess أو خلينا نخمن the next job. I am parking my food stall here. Food stall, guys, means like كشك في الشارع for selling and buying food. Okay, this is what I mean by stall. Because it's the best place in the city. Lots of people and tourists come this way. People start to buy their breakfast at 6 a.m. I mean by a.m. in the morning, الصبح. I am getting everything ready. I am feeling cold and I am looking forward to drinking some hot coffee. So who's talking here? We have a new character who's named by Kamal. So can you guess what is the job of him? This can be a bit difficult for you, so let me show you the answer. It's for street food seller or the one who buys food in the streets. Okay, like this picture. So let's now have some questions according to the passage we have just read. But before so, we have to remind ourselves of the new vocab words. أو خلينا نفكر بعض بالكلمات الجديدة for this unit. We have, as a first one, it's ward, and I already said its meaning. Ward means a separate room in a hospital for a patient, أو العنبر أو حجرة المرضى in a hospital. A second word, which is, it's a phrase actually, looking forward to, and as I mentioned in the previous slide, it should be followed by noun or gerund. لازم يجي بعدها noun or gerund, and I mean by gerund, ing form of a verb. It means, guys, awaiting for something excitedly. When I say I'm looking forward to something, I mean بتطلع إلى. Then, make sure. I think it's a bit easy for you. Make sure, it means to be sure. تتأكد من حاجة. And park as a verb, park, it means to bring a vehicle like a car or a bus to a halt or to a stop. It means يركن. And the last word, food stall. And I already showed you what's the food stall. A stand or booth like كشك for selling food in the streets. Okay, so let's have some questions. Okay, use the present continuous to talk about what is happening now. Before trying to solve or to answer the questions, I want you to give a brief explanation about what's meant by a present continuous tense. Last time, can you remember what tense we talked about? Something related to this? Yes, it was a present simple tense أو المضارع، زمن المضارع البسيط. النهارده نتكلم عن زمن المضارع المستمر. Okay, let me show you the rule of it أو خلينا نشوف إزاي بنعمل أو بنحل verb in the present continuous tense. Okay, let me show you first by examples. Here, the rule is like the following. You can write it down in your books. It's formed by adding am or is or are plus ing verb. It means that I am doing this right now. التنس ده بيعبر عن أو الزمن ده بيعبر عن حاجة أنا بعملها دلوقتي. Okay, it's completely different from the present simple. هو مختلف عن ال present simple. Okay, so like for example, she is studying now. We should have a key word that refers to the verb or to the tense. Okay, she's studying now. It means she is studying now and she hasn't finished yet. هي لسه بتذاكر. Okay, so that's why, because I have she, or if you have any singular subject like he or she or it, or like for example Hagar, Ali, Ahmed, so use is plus ing verb. If you are talking about yourself and I'm saying am, I am. When I say I am, okay, so you have to write am with I plus ing verb. And are is used for the plural subjects, okay, like they, you, we, or a lot of people like Ahmed and Ali, like Mona and Maryam, okay. So in this case, I add are as a helping verb, then ing form of the verb. This is simply the rule of the present continuous tense. Okay, so now let's begin. Okay, these are some statements or one of the statements that refers to something you can do right now or today, like I am working today. A positive statement. A negative one is like you are not working. Okay, what if we want to use a question in the present continuous tense? What things we should take care of أو إيه اللي المفروض نخلي بالنا منه لما نيجي نعمل question in the present continuous tense? We have to remember something, that our questions here does not or do not have does or do, as we mentioned in the previous unit. But here we should have only is or are. Okay, so here we usually start our yes/no questions by is or are. Is your mother? According to what? According to the subject. If you have a singular subject, you add is. If you have a plural subject, you add are. So I say, is your mother working? Is your mother working? And question mark. So if I start a question with is or are, it's yes, no question. It means that you have to answer with yes or no. Like here, yes she is or no she isn't. Or if I add WH question form like what, where, why, who, when, you should also add after it verb to be, is or are. What is your father doing? Is first, then the second verb will be not infinitive form, but it will be in the ing form, which is like a gerund, but it's not a gerund here. It's verb with ing form, okay? So what is your father doing? He is reading, okay? So when I have is plus ing verb, you should use it again in your answer. You should add is or are plus ing, okay? So let's move to the second or the next slide. Okay, now let's bring back or let's memorize أو خلينا نفتكر what we have read in the passage we read about Amal, Ahmad and Kamal and so forth. Why is Amal feeling tired? Can you guess? Can you remember? Why is she tired? Yes, of course, because the hospital is very busy, because she has to work a lot. And for the second question, who are driving around the city? Can you remember who were keeping the people safe? Excellent, the police officers who are Ahmad and Adil are driving around the city, of course, to keep people safe. And why is everyone staying at home? Can you remember? Or you can have a look at the passage in front of you and answer. Perfect, because it's very cold outside. Okay, then Why is Kamal parking his food stall at this place? Why? Can you guess why? Okay. Because it's the best place in the city. Perfect. And what is Kamal looking forward to? Yes, he was looking forward, or he is looking forward to drinking some hot coffee. Okay, so those were the questions for the short passages we have just read. Again, let me remind you of the layout or of the rule of the present continuous tense. Okay, again, in order to put a verb in the present continuous tense, we should add am, is, are, plus ing verb. Okay? Some keywords are to be written or to be studied well by you for this tense. Like, we have some keywords in order to know that this is a present continuous tense. Keywords like now, like right now, like these days, okay, like nowadays. So all of these keywords represent or refer to the present continuous tense, okay? So there is a great difference between present continuous tense and the present simple tense, okay? What is the difference? The difference is the present continuous tense refers to something I am still doing and I am not done with yet. حاجة أنا بعملها دلوقتي ولسه ما خلصتهاش. But can you guess what's meant by a present simple? ايه الفرق؟ خلونا نعرف دلوقتي ايه الفرق ما بين present simple and present continuous. Present simple refers to something you usually do at a certain time. Like, for example, every day, always, usually, often, never, okay? Something you got used to do at certain times. That's why it's called present simple. Present simple represents the facts, the habits, something you already know and something you already got used to do every day. Okay, but present continuous refers to something I am doing right away. Okay, so let me show you something else. What if I have something like this? They are working now. They are working now. Okay, sorry, let me erase this and okay, here, this is a sentence. They are working now. What if I want to make a question on it? What should I do? It's simply done. We have like to make a cross like this, and we have to start with our helping verb. As long as we have one verb and two verb, okay, verb number one and verb number two, okay. So we usually start with the helping verb, which is or are. So are, and then they, and then you put this word as it is. Are they working now? This is a question, and of course, don't forget the question mark, okay? So this is very important, and now you know how to make a question using the present continuous tense. Okay, let me show you another thing. What if I want to use WH question word, like what? Okay, for example, I will write for you something like she is preparing the lunch. She is preparing the lunch. Okay, so if I want to start with what? Question word, what? What should I do here? Again, look first. Do you have one verb or two verbs? Yes, here I have verb number one and verb number two. Then, if you have two verbs concerning the present continuous tense, so now what's our next step? Yes, is to make this cross. Okay, we start here with is after what, and then we use the pronoun or the subject, she. What is she? And then you put the second verb as it is. What is she preparing? only. You will not write what is she preparing because you are still asking. احنا لسه بنسأل فأكيد مش هنحط الإجابة في السؤال. Okay? So you have to memorize this أو لازم تفتكروا ده على طول. And of course don't forget the question mark. Okay? So okay. Now another thing to differentiate between the present simple and the present continuous. What if I have something like this? He does his homework daily. يعني كل يوم. He does his homework daily. Okay. So how can I use here, or how can I make a question here? For example, if I want to use the question word what. عايزة أسأل هو بيعمل إيه كل يوم. What. So what shall I do here? Shall I add here is or are plus ing verb? Definitely not, because this is not a present continuous tense. Here, if I have does, plays, walks, sleeps, any verb ends with s or any infinitive verb, this refers to which tense, guys? Yes, present simple, not present continuous. Okay? So here, what shall I do? I shall add do or does as a helping verb. You take notes after me, okay? To help you while studying. So here, what shall I add? Do or does according to what I determine. أو على أساس إيه بقرر أحط do ولا does after the question word what. According to the subject, okay? If you have a singular subject, you add does. Okay? This is the subject. So what does? And then he, after you add the helping verb, you add the subject. What does he? And then the infinitive form of does, which is do. Okay? So what does he do? Daily. هو بيعمل إيه كل يوم. This is our answer. His homework. Okay? So this is simply how to make a question and how to differentiate between present simple tense, present continuous tense. Okay. So now we are done with our questions for the passages we have just read. Okay. Let me tell you that time flies with you guys, and now we have to remind ourselves of the lessons or of the parts we introduced today. خلونا نفكر نفسنا اللي احنا ركزنا عليه النهارده في شرحنا. First, we introduced the jobs. We introduced a lot of jobs like police officers, like nurse, like the food sellers, like a lot of jobs. Okay? And we focused on what is every job أو كل وظيفة بتتكلم على إيه. دي أول حاجة اتكلمنا عليها in the reading passages أو في الفقرات القصيرة اللي قريناها مع بعض. Then we focused on the difference between two tenses أو ركزنا على زمنين. فاكرين إيه هما؟ Yes, excellent. The present simple and the present continuous. قلنا ال present simple ده حاجة بتعبر عن our daily routine. Something about habits, about facts. حاجة بتعبر عن حقائق، بتعبر عن حاجات انتم متعودين تعملوها أو something you always do. Okay? And to remind ourselves also for the keywords of the present simple tense, it's like always, usually, sometimes, often, never, seldom. Okay. Let's go for the present continuous tense. It's talking about something I am already doing right now and I am not done with yet. يعني ال present continuous tense بيتكلم عن حاجة أو بيشير إلى حاجة أنا بعملها دلوقتي ولسه ما خلصتهاش. Okay? ال keywords أو the words that refer to this tense are like, for example, now, right now, these days, nowadays, at the present, okay? Or for the time being. كل دي كلمات بتعبر عن زمن المضارع المستمر. فبكده نبقى وصلنا لنهاية حلقتنا النهارده. Now we came to an end of our session and I hope it was beneficial for you أو أتمنى إنها كانت مفيدة ليكم. Get ready with your books and your pencils for the next session and I will be waiting for you for the next time. Thank you so much for listening and goodbye. See you. Bye.